Imagine waking up one morning only to realize that every decision you've made, every reaction you've had, every success or failure was quietly dictated, not by your choice, but by the hidden scripts running in your mind. The thoughts you didn't question, the beliefs you inherited, the emotional patterns you never noticed, they have been steering your life. Now, what if I told you there's a way to reclaim the steering wheel, a method to turn your mind from a silent dictator into your most loyal ally? The question is simple. Will you remain a passenger in your own life, or will you take command once and for all? There is a quiet prison surrounding you, and most people never notice it. Its walls are invisible, its locks unbreakable, yet it exists within the very space where you think you are free your mind. Every day, your thoughts move like shadows, unnoticed, shaping decisions, guiding reactions, and silently dictating the course of your life. You think you are making choices, yet many of those choices are echoes of patterns that were never yours to begin with. They are inherited fears, unchallenged beliefs, and habits formed in moments you no longer remember. Imagine your mind as a garden. Seeds are constantly being planted, some by your conscious hand, but most by unseen forces. Some of these seeds grow into weeds: anxiety, doubt, resentment, procrastination. They stretch silently, quietly. Before long, they dominate the landscape. You walk through this garden every day, stepping over the flowers, unaware of the roots that are binding your steps. This is the silent prison. The danger is not external, it is internal. You have emotional triggers, automatic reactions that erupt without your command. A word said in passing, a look that you interpret incorrectly, a memory from years ago. Each can spark a chain of thought and emotion that you did not choose. These reactions dictate how you respond to life. Yet they remain hidden behind a curtain of familiarity. You repeat patterns unconsciously, as if life itself is pushing you along a path you never chose. But here's the truth: awareness is the key. The moment you notice these patterns, you step out of the shadows. Observation is your first act of rebellion. When you stop to ask yourself, which of these thoughts are mine? Which are just echoes? A crack forms in the wall of your prison. That crack is the beginning of freedom. Understand this: ignoring the mind's patterns has a cost. Every unchecked reaction, every unexamined belief, every emotional outburst carries weight. Opportunities pass you by. Decisions are made by the ghosts of old programming, not by your conscious self. Your life drifts, not guided by your vision, by the automatic currents of thought and emotion. And yet, there is hope. The same mind that binds you can also free you. The first step is simple: notice, observe, reflect. And when you do, something powerful happens. You feel the weight of mental captivity, yes, but alongside it comes the first taste of liberation. You realize that your mind is not just a chaotic space. It is a field that can be cultivated, shaped, and mastered. The unseen forces are only strong if you remain unaware. Once you shine light on them, they begin to shrink. Once you name them, they lose control. Awareness is the seed of discipline. Observation is the gateway to mastery. Ask yourself now, which of my thoughts are running my life without me noticing? Where do my automatic reactions fail me? Which patterns am I repeating unconsciously? These are not questions meant to induce fear. They are invitations to see the invisible, to reclaim control, to step into the life you were always capable of living. Because here is the unspoken truth. Freedom does not come from changing circumstances. It comes from reclaiming the mind. The mind that once controlled you is waiting for you to take command. Once you begin to notice the patterns of your mind, a new question arises. Are these thoughts truly mine? Or am I merely repeating what life, circumstance, and habit have handed me? Most people never ask this. They accept every thought as fact, every emotion as reality, and every reaction as truth. Here is where freedom grows. The moment you learn to observe, you also learn to question. Imagine standing in a room full of mirrors. Each reflection shows a version of yourself. But which one is real? Some images are distorted, warped by old beliefs, fears, and assumptions. Every judgment you've made, every doubt you've held, every limiting story you tell yourself has been shaped by reflections that aren't accurate. These are illusions your mind has accepted as reality. Yet, the power lies in your ability to step back and see beyond the glass. The mind can be rewired. Limiting beliefs are not permanent chains. They are old circuits that can be dismantled, reframed, and replaced. Every thought that once held you captive can be examined under the light of awareness. You learn to ask, why do I believe this? Does it serve me or does it confine me? This process is not passive, it is active mental sculpture. You become the architect of perception, choosing which walls to tear down and which doors to open. And here is the subtlety most people miss. Perception is not reality, but it shapes it. The way you interpret a situation dictates your reaction, your decisions, and ultimately your life outcomes. Two people can face the same circumstance, yet one is trapped in fear while the other sees opportunity. Why? Because the second person has learned to see beyond the thought trap, to recognize the distortion, to question the story, and to step into conscious choice. This is the essence of mental clarity. You begin to realize that thoughts are not commands, they are signals. They are suggestions, whispers of a mind that has been conditioned, but they do not define you unless you allow them to. By observing and reframing a frame, you disrupt the automatic loops that once controlled your behavior. You replace chaos with intention, reaction with choice. And as you do, curiosity awakens. You start to wonder, what would life look like if I could see clearly, unclouded by old frameworks? What possibilities exist when my mind is no longer a cage, but a canvas? Each limiting belief you dismantle, each mental distortion you question, opens a door to a new horizon. This is not an abstract exercise. It is practical, measurable, and transformative. Begin noticing the thoughts that trigger anxiety, anger, or doubt. Name them. Step back. Reframe. Replace the stories that hold you back with principles that elevate you. Let clarity guide decisions. Let conscious choice replace autopilot. The beauty of this moment is subtle, but profound. Once you see beyond the thought trap, life itself begins to shift. Situations that once caused frustration now invite solutions. Challenges that once sparked fear now awaken strategy. Your mind, once a battlefield of inherited scripts, becomes a laboratory of possibility. Ask yourself now, which of my thoughts are truly mine? Which beliefs have I inherited without questioning? How would my life change if I could think with clarity, not constraint? These questions are more than mental exercises. They are invitations to step into your authority. And once you embrace this authority, something extraordinary happens. The inner chaos no longer rules, and a deliberate, conscious mind takes its place. The prisoner is no longer in the cell. They are walking freely, exploring the landscape of their potential.